Hey everyone, this is Relics,
And I'm Nagatron.
and we are watching ACA versus OOF's First Division in round 2 of World of Tanks Classic League Season 1 on the map Karelia. So let's get it going. Alright, starting out, let's take a look at ACA's tanks here. We have a 50B 2IS-7s and a T110 for their main heavy tanks. We have 3 mediums, 2 Batshats, and a T54. We have 2 Tier 8 artillery, a 261 and a GWE, and 2 scout tanks here, a T50-2 and a Tetrarch. Looks like they're spreading themselves out, probably hoping to use their artillery and really get that scouting out there and get a lot of damage going.
ACA with an early light. In the meantime, UFTS is running 2 I-7s, 1 mouse, 2 T110s, a Batchat 54, Type B, and a 261. So they're down about 6 points.
We can see Oof's trying to push a little bit further on the north there with that T54, get a forward scouting position. It doesn't look like they're trying to rush it across. And at this point, ACA has control of the bowl with their 3 medium tanks. And it looks like we're playing the waiting game, trying to get some spotting out there, see what they can hit.
Neither side has an artillery advantage, but ACA does have the scouts, so it's really in UFTS's best interest to get things rolling.
Yeah, and it looks like Oofs came in with a few less points here that they could have invested in some Tier 1 light tanks or Tier 2, something to get a scout out there to help get some passive lighting going.
It seems to be kind of trend we were seeing across a lot of the teams this week. People must just be having trouble fielding their entire team on these Saturday time slots.
Yep, hopefully people aren't just missing the value of the smaller tanks as scouts in this. We saw some earlier matches where Tier 2 light just sat in a bush and a little bit of contact there with the T50-2. Where they just sat in the bush and they lit 5, 6 tanks without ever getting spotted, and that was a huge advantage to that team.
Seems like ACA is trying to find something to do with this Tetrarch. Right now, it's just doing a lot of the same lighting routine that a 50-2 is doing, without any real added benefit.
Yeah, it seems like right now they're just lighting the middle there on their side. They probably could have rushed it for a forward position to get a little bit more lighting up in the middle and just threw it in a bush. Looks like Oofs pushed down an IS-7 straight across the bottom there. I'm not sure what they were trying to accomplish with that. Maybe they didn't see the mediums up at the top and they just thought it was clear.
Well, they did knock out one of ACA's IS-7s as well, so they must have extra tanks there that were able to shoot but haven't been spotted yet.
Yeah, maybe they were hoping to find some artillery stuck there in that corner or something. Looks like ACA is pulling their 50B up to support that side a little bit more in the south. Maybe we'll see some movement down there. It does look like that T110 on ACA side did take a couple more hits from artillery over there. That T54 is right up in their face. Looks like they moved a T110 a little bit closer as well.
Both sides still playing a little slowly, not trying to aggressively take any land at this point.
Yep, probably hoping to get a few more shots from artillery on stuff to soften everything up for their tanks. At this point right now, Oofs definitely has the hit point advantage here, but those light tanks could pose a problem here eventually if there's nothing watching in the middle.
Now they're sending both their scouts. Hopefully, they're sending them pretty far.
Yeah, with them taking the road, I imagine they're going for a rush here.
Well, we know one IS-7 is in the south, one T-110 is in the north. So we've got a Batchat intercepting successfully so far. He is definitely going to take punishment from that hill trying to intercept this Tetrarch, though.
Oh, yep,
Ouch.
they're knocked out by enemy's T-54 there, or Batchat.
That might be the exception to the rule that you should chase the scout.
Yep. Because their artillery was watching up there because they'd have to pull artillery, and it's a straight line, so those artillery can pull back and not really lose a lot of their aim.
At the same time, though, OOFs cannot afford to lose any of their artillery at all. So it may have been a worthy trade, but at this point, they're just going to lose more. Ooh, with both of those artillery rubbing like that, I am feeling a counter coming in.
Yeah. That's just really open for a lot of splash damage. Tetrarch nabbing a kill there. Will
I
he
think we
get both
may have
RT?
seen an AP round hit OOF's 261 in the track from ACA's 261.
Oh, Tetrarch getting a little greedy. T-54 grabbing him.
That T-54 must have been really far forward for him to take that long to come back.
Yeah, I think that was the one that was all the way up at like D2. Oh, already finishing him off.
Splash from the GWE reached out just far enough to take that out.
So ACA's definitely got the advantage here. They still have their 2 tier 8 arties, so this is just a matter of time unless UFTS can get some kind of push to really knock out some of those tanks quickly.
At this point, with this amount of time on the clock, I would probably say the smart play would be to take the mediums down off the hill, rush them through the middle with these 2 heavies in the north pressing at the same time. And then you can at least get some stuff on top of Cap with the high ground, and they can light anything trying to come up there to knock them off with 2 artillery to really do the damage to those climbers.
Yep. And unfortunately, right now, UFTS has one of their T-110s in the north, so that puts only 3 tanks that are probably on the north or on the south side there, covering that angle. And then we have that T-54 that we just saw, who is somewhere swarming around their cap. So if they did push that south or run through the middle, they'd have tank advantage.
It is definitely on ACA to make sure that this game doesn't draw out, because OOFs would be happy to do so at this point.
You can see ACA moving one of their artillery way down on the southeast there to try to get angles on this IS-7 up here, or T-110. And they're starting to swarm on the south side, so I imagine we're about to see a push here. All the Frenchies getting together. There's one of the mice. I think they're definitely playing it smart, trying to slow play it so they don't get slowed down by all these or recklessly drive in and get knocked out by a bunch of alpha strikes.
Yeah, when you have 6 minutes, you definitely want to play towards caution. Make sure that some stupid mistakes don't pile up and cost you the game.
Yep. They could be a little bit more aggressive on the north here when they know there's only probably 1 tank up there at this point, because they had a lot of spotting there earlier. So at most it's a T-54 and a T-110. ACA's artillery really far up there. Man, it still looks like they're just holding for it here. Clock's starting to run down a little bit too far. What do you think? They're just probably trying to turtle it up, run the clock down, see if they can go for a draw.
That's definitely what Oofs is looking for at this point. Given the fact that nothing else has shown up next to this mouse, I think the smart play might to be push all of those mediums straight past the mouse, and maybe even further if there's more tier 10s to back him up. It looks like there's at least one. Bring that 50B up straight in the mouse's face and make him choose. Let all three mediums shoot you in the back, or let this 50B shoot you 4 times in the side.
Yeah. And try to get one up on that cap. They probably would have done well to bring one of the bat shots around the backside and go straight up to the middle of the cap, and then all they'd have is that 54 to tango with at most. And then that would have also forced Oofs to the side to break out of your turtle cover or stop the cap.
Yeah, both T110s are probably up here in the north. I'm not entirely sure where the 54 is at this point. No, never mind. He's starting to help out his two buddies there at the corner.
And if Oofs is trying to pull the draw here, they really need to stop poking and just make them come around the corner.
Definitely.
Right now, they're just giving up hit points to those mediums. Two minutes, 30 seconds left. Oh, now's the time ACA really needs to get some movement. There you go. Batchat going straight for the cap. See if they can get that started. If you can get up there by a minute 50, he should still be able to win it with the cap. Both of them going up. T54 distracting.
If any of them are able to take out at least one of the two tanks left there, the 50B should be able to mop it up no problem.
Yep.
And quite frankly, if all else fails, the 261 could probably go tank destroyer mode and finish it up himself.
Yep. And it looks like those two T110s were still just holed up in the middle there, or at the top.
They didn't have too much of an option, you know. They're pinned by two tanks. If they try and move, they'll get artilleried. If they try and press, they'll get artilleried. So
Yeah.
it's a nice job isolating them and keeping them there on ACA's part.
Little trade of kills there. All right, well, at this point, it is definitely going to ACA. Great move on their part, getting control of the map the way they did. They really had full map control throughout the entire match. All right, grats ACA.